Sub traders, it's 14th of October, Tuesday. Euro dollar closed like this with this bullish candle. I took a short today, and as you can see, I got stung. This was I took a short during New York session, predicting price to come down to first to this sell side liquidity and down to this 50% off this fair value gap. And the way it's playing out right now, I think my prediction that I should have waited for price to come into the 50% off this daily time frame range might be playing out, or even 618. I actually do think now we can push up to the 618, especially seeing price fail to continue lower, right? We had this bullish candle try to push price higher. You're expecting bullish price to push up, doesn't. Bearish candle inside bar fails, and then today just takes out liquidity of previous 2 days. And to me, that's a sign that bearish momentum is failing, and we are going to see some kind of a push up before we see the push lower, if it is going to go lower. And to me, it does seem like we will push into this range somewhere, 50 to 61, 618, and find resistance. We might not come back down to this low, who knows, but I do still predict the price to come into this 50% off this in fair value gap. So because of that, yeah, I took a loss today to what it is. So to me, right, we took out liquidity on Wednesday or last Thursday at this high at 1.1646 level, displaced lower, left a fair value gap above this bullish candle or an order block, and pushed lower and held the start of that daily time for fair value gap. The price had previously left at 1.155. Pushed up, held the level that I was predicting price to hold to, and then pushed lower. And then I was expecting price to come down and take out this low at least, right? And then it doesn't. And then we push up, and I took a short somewhere around here. I'll go deep into that soon. And yeah, one of the one of the things that I did see was price made SMT with GU this low on the 4-hour time frame, which is quite a strong indication of divergence, right? So something to consider in future, but for me, it doesn't. Like, this loss is a loss. It's not really that big of a deal, because I saw this price take out, this swing high up here during today London session, pushed up, failed to continue higher, and then displaced lower with this market structure shift. Ideally, I would have liked to trade it at the 618 retracement or 50% retracement, but I traded at this swing high right here on the 1-hour time frame as price opened during the 8 a.m. candle, which is the 1 a.m. UK time candle. Mainly because one of the main reasons I'm trading at this low is because I missed so many trades up here, bearish trades, because I was predicting, or I was anticipating price to pull back deeper. It never did. Right here, I was expecting price to pull deeper. It never did. I was expecting price to pull deeper here. It never did. And I missed a lot of trades, and I know that was one of the main reasons. Like right here as well, I was expecting price to pull back into the retracement, into this 50%. It just tapped this high and dropped lower. And to me, after having that happen to me a few times in the last few weeks, I think it was one of the main reasons I did not want to miss that trade today. But looking back at it in hindsight, it's a great lesson, because we had already pushed down so much further than up here. It's when it's at its peak, it's most likely going to drop, especially on a bearish order flow. It's going to continue just slipping down. Unlike when it's already extended for so long, then it's more likely to find some kind of a pullback, and that's what we're seeing right now. And I do think we can see that pullback happening. With price push above these highs on the 4-hour time frame, we got this swing high and this bearish fair value gap, which price could potentially come into, and that would be a pretty nice area for me to go short. Maybe there's something else on the higher time frame that we can look at. This previous support turn resistance is a good level, but ultimately we are now accumulating down here, and this is gonna push up and then provide some kind of an entry around here, and that looks like the 4-hour time frame would be the perfect place where price could potentially find that resistance at this high, at this level, which also potentially happens to be at the 618 of the entire retracement. So yeah, good mistake. Well, it's not even a mistake, good loss for me, because I know the exact reason I took that loss. It was because I was chasing something that I'd missed so many times up here, in the hope that the same thing will happen here, because we're so close to that 50% off, or even this sell side liquidity, right? I would have been happy if price came to that sell side liquidity, and because we displaced down so nicely, yeah, it just was a trap, and I got caught in the trap. It's just what it is. I stuck to my principles of trading in a pullback, trading with 1% risk, and having a stop loss in a place where I felt comfortable. And to me, if price was going to go lower, to me it would have ideally taken out that 50 or 618% and then dropped lower above, even had this bearish fair value gap, so I put my stops above that. So for me, I had stops in the right place, I had right amount of risk. Ideally, I would have liked to put my entry at least the 50% off this range, and it would have given me a 2-to-1 rather than less than 2-to-1, which was like 1.5-to-1. Price did react off the high, which I was expecting it to react off. Just was dropping lower, and I was up around 0.5% at one point. But yeah, it looks like we rejected this start off that fair value gap on the daily time frame and then pushed a lot higher. Now I think we could trade higher, and it would be a good area to go long, especially tomorrow morning if we see something like this. If price just, I like bullish order flow trades because they are actually a lot, for me, has been easier to spot because of the fact that we had been in a bullish run for the whole year. It could potentially just accumulate around here and then drop, and then New York session tomorrow, London session might show like it's going to push higher, take out a low, and then push up, either take out the high one more time, or before even taking the high and then drop lower, maybe SMT with GU, and then drop lower one more time and then find support and then push up to these highs. That's a potential play now going into tomorrow, so let's see what that does. What's up with pound dollar as well? It took out Friday's low and found quite a nice support. It found support at this inverse fair value gap previously last week Friday, and then today we came down and held that low. I was not predicting that. It does happen to be RSI diverging channel as well at that low. If you look at this, that's a channel forming on the 240 time frame. That's a pretty strong channel, right? And we came down and held that. On the 1 hour time frame, we formed a double bottom right there and then pushed up exactly where I entered on the euro dollar. And this was me placing these templates where to see where I would have liked to traded these entry. One was at this low actually, yeah, because I was in a bearish order flow, saw this bearish fair value gap above that swing high, and I was predicting price to come up to that high and trade that. I was predicting price to come down to like somewhere down here, probably wouldn't have reached that. Stops above these highs and that low would have been good, but again, if price was quite bullish, or price found quite a nice support, and then I wanted to enter here. It's not that I wanted to enter, it's something I probably would have entered in the past, but not looking to enter anymore. And yeah, found quite a nice support. We had this at that level, we had this market structure shift previously, and I was saying price will come down, pull back, and then find resistance and then drop lower. But it looks like it's just found support and is pushing higher. Similar to euro dollar, what is price going to do now? Are we in a bearish order flow? Is it bearish already now? We had a bearish week last week, so going into this week I was definitely bearish. Especially we've had quite a few bearish weeks in a row. We had this order block essentially, so if price is going to pull back, it could potentially pull back into that order block and find some kind of a resistance, and that to me also might align with the daily time frame 618 on that range. And again, similar to euro dollar, it will be a good place to go short. But yeah, let's see what tomorrow does now. I'm looking forward to it.